Snow blanketed the sleepy town of Riverview like a thick, silent curtain. The wind howled through narrow alleyways and pine trees cracked under the pressure of heavy frost. Life had slowed to a near standstill, except for Jake Miller, a struggling single father who never had the luxury to pause. Jake worked 2 jobs just to keep the heat running and his 8-year-old son, Max, fed. Ever since his wife passed away 2 years ago from a sudden illness, Jake had done everything possible to hold his broken family together. He didn't have time to grieve, his son needed him more than ever. His heart ached every time Max asked why mommy couldn't come back. Jake was the kind of man who lived in the background. He worked nights as a janitor and delivered groceries during the day in his beat-up old truck that coughed and wheezed every time it started. He never complained. He couldn't afford to. One Saturday morning, after finishing a night shift at the hospital, Jake took Max to the park for some rare father-son time. The lake near the park, usually a beautiful spot for picnics in the summer, was now a frozen sheet of pale white, silent and deceptively still. Jake sat on a bench sipping coffee, watching Max throw snowballs. That's when he heard the scream. It wasn't loud, but sharp, terrified, and pure. Jake turned in time to see 2 little girls, twins, maybe 5 or 6, out on the ice. It had cracked beneath them. One had already slipped in, flailing in the icy water, and the other clung to the edge, crying out helplessly. Jake didn't hesitate. Not even for a second. He dropped his coffee, tore off his heavy jacket, and ran. Every step on the ice could have been his last, but he didn't care. Max stood frozen on the shore, tears brimming, screaming for his dad. "Hold on!" Jake yelled at the girls. "I'm coming!" The ice moaned, creaked, and splintered. Jake fell once, slamming his knee hard, but he got back up. He reached the edge just as the second girl slipped in. Without thinking, he plunged his arms into the freezing water and grabbed both girls by their coats, anchoring his weight backward as the ice cracked further. With a strength powered by pure adrenaline and fear, he pulled them out, soaked, shivering, crying, but alive. Bystanders who had gathered helped call 911. The ambulance took the girls away quickly. Jake was treated for frostbite and hypothermia, and someone from the hospital recognized him. "Aren't you the janitor on the night shift?" Jake nodded through chattering teeth, just grateful the girls were safe. 3 days later, life went back to normal. Or so he thought. Jake was folding laundry in his cramped kitchen when he heard it, the rumble of engines. He stepped outside to see 5 luxury cars parked outside his modest house. A sleek black Rolls-Royce, a Bentley, and several high-end SUVs. Out stepped a well-dressed woman in her 40s, tears in her eyes and 2 little girls wrapped in winter coats and scarves. It was them. "You saved my daughters," she said, her voice breaking. "I was out of town. Their nanny took them to the park. If not for you." Jake tried to wave it off, awkward and overwhelmed. Anyone would have done the same. "No," she said firmly. Not everyone would have risked their life like that. She was Catherine Holloway, a tech CEO worth billions. The Holloway twins had been all over the news, once missing, now miraculously saved by a man no one knew. "I want to help," she said. "Please don't say no." Jake was hesitant. He wasn't the type to take handouts. But Catherine didn't offer cash. She offered opportunities. A better job. A home. School tuition for Max support without strings attached. Jake cried that night for the first time in a long time, not out of pain or grief, but out of relief. In the weeks that followed, things changed. Jake accepted a position at Holloway Tech as a facility manager, a job with benefits, good hours, and dignity. He and Max moved into a home with working heat, space, and a backyard. But what mattered most wasn't the house or the job. It was the feeling that maybe, just maybe, good people still existed. That kindness wasn't forgotten. That one moment of bravery could ripple through the lives of others in ways you never imagine.